Coach, Iowa loses a really tough rival game. Michigan loses a one-sided game. Coaches get up Sunday morning, they're all driving to work, they're trying to figure out what happened. So let's talk about what possibly could be going on with staffs after a tough loss like that. But first, let's listen to Kirk Ferentz right after the Iowa loss.
The biggest thing right now for our football team, we still got 12 weeks in front of us, 10 games, and you never want to lose a game, certainly, but the biggest thing is, like any time of the season, it's how you're going to respond to it, and it's important for our guys to understand. I think we have a good football team here. We have good leadership, good coaching staff, and, win, lose, or draw, you got to move forward and respond. So this one's going to hurt for a while, but we'll move forward and learn from it tomorrow and go back to work on Monday.
We've all been there. Man, that's a heartbreaking loss. But other than players, obviously, the most undervalued people in that building are the assistant coaches. A true evaluation of a staff, Gerry, is how do they respond to adversity? When a staff gets hit right in the face, your team, you lose. And the bottom line is you got to solve problems. You lost a game, you got to solve those problems. And the strongest staffs that I've been a part of and you've been a part of, we talked about this, it actually galvanizes you. It makes you stronger. It's called a foxhole mentality where you shut out all the noise, shut out all the egos, and go to work and do what? Solve problems. The great staffs do that. In 2014, we lose game 2 with a freshman quarterback named G.T. Barrett. That coaching staff, there was no egos. Everybody went to work, and we didn't lose a game for 20 games. Obviously players, but those assistant coaches are very valuable. Let's flip the switch, the other side, the lesser staffs. The lesser staffs, all of a sudden the kind of mentality shows up in that facility. It's called CYA, or cover your tail. And everybody's pointing fingers and covering their own butt. You know what happens in those situations? Problems don't get solved. Matter of fact, more problems surface. And as I used to share with our coaches every year, multiple times, college football is the most evaluation-friendly job in the world. Every Saturday, after 60 minutes of football, when you're walking off the field, if you need help evaluating it, look at the scoreboard. If you're in the left hand of the column, well done. If you're in the right hand of the column, there's a problem. You got to get this fixed. I used to say it's this or this. Correct. So we're going to see. This is an evaluation-friendly job, and everybody gets to evaluate them every week.
It's interesting, the two coaches that we jumped off of to have this conversation. Kirk Ferentz is the longest head coach in the country. He's been through this before. Sharon Moore, we've all been through that first loss. And so Sharon will learn and figure out how he wants to deal with it. But hopefully both of them, and I think both of them will deal with it in a positive way, but you have to deal with it.
Last point, and I brought this up on Big Noon. I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is the Wolverines won a national championship. Bad news, they won a national championship. Everything they do, you've been a part of a national championship, I have as well. Everything you do, the fans, your players, your staff, you get critiqued on, are you giving national championship effort?
I think they'll both bounce back.
I do too.